here.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. We're going to talk direct sales with Ines Johnson. I'm so excited because she told me about Shopify and her success with direct sales in the summer of 2022. So like a million years ago. And I have been hacking away at the store. And last month, direct sales is responsible for pushing my series to $100,000 a month with ad spend. But we spend on the store and we see a spillover effect on all platforms to the point where I've started advertising books on my store just to see the halo effect on Amazon. And that doesn't work for everybody, but that's what's going on in my world. And Ines, you have been at this a lot longer. You taught me how to do it, so take it away.
Well, that's a lot of credit to live up to. Can you give me permission so I can share my screen?
Yes, sorry about that.
And we will hop right into this. So, I like to give people, because I see a lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to do this. And you really do. I think a lot of people are thinking, let me build my whole entire store. And I don't think that is the way to go. I think there's a better way. And that's what I like to present to people. So this presentation, depending upon how chatty I get, will take about 30-ish minutes. And then I'll leave time for questions if you have them. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and letting you guys see how easy this is. Okay, so direct to the heart, how to sell your romance novels straight to your readers. So, hey guys, if you haven't met me before, I'm Ines. I write kissing books. And I want to tell you about 9 strategies that you can use, the 9 strategies that I use to build a direct sales funnel. And I want you to notice that I said funnel and not store, because I don't think that where you set up your shop matters so much as how you set up your shop. So I want to talk to you about these tips to get you up and selling within 7 days. I think that whenever you do something new, that you should have a goal. Whenever I go into a new venture, I always have a goal to make my household living expenses. I live just outside, and everyone make sure you mute yourselves. I live just outside of Washington, D.C. And for me, that's about $3,000 a month. It used to be $2,500 before, COVID and inflation. But whenever I do something, whenever I take on a new business experiment, like, for example, subscriptions, or like when I did direct sales, or when I decided to go into German translations, it's a success to me if I can get it to make me $3,000 a month and basically take care of me. I want to be taken care of. I want to be the sugar baby to someone, even if I have to be my own sugar baby. So I always tell people, because people will look at what Lee just told you, or they'll look at my $3,000 a month, a hard limit that I have to make. And they'll think, well, I made $500. I'm not a success. That is not true. Think about what you need this new source of income to do for you. Maybe you needed to pay down a car note. If your car note is like $300 a month and you made $500, you are a success. If you if you have a coffee habit and you need another $5 a day and you're making $50 a day, you are a success. So just please go into this thinking, because I'm going to show you some numbers. So let's go into this thinking about, what do I need what can my goal be? And it could be monetary, but it could also be, maybe you want to do some different things to your readers. Maybe you want to give your readers new products. Maybe you want to sell book boxes. Oh, come on, this isn't. Maybe you want to sell hardcovers. Maybe you want to do something special that only you can do on your store. And that's a fantastic goal to have. So my point is, just have a goal in mind. So like Lee said, I started direct sales. I started learning how to do this in 2022. I had heard Katie Cross. Well, even before that, I had heard Joanna Penn talking about it on her podcast. I can't remember when. And she was talking about PayHip. And she has a free blog post on how to set up PayHip on your shop, and on your website. And I did that. And PayHip is free. You just pay you pay the credit card transaction fee, depending upon your plan. And I followed her instructions and I set it up, and like maybe twice a month I would get a direct sale, and it was awesome. And I couldn't figure out how to make more sales happen. And then I heard Katie Cross talking on I think it was the Six Figure Author podcast. something like that, with Lindsay Baroker. And she was talking about it. She was talking strategies. And I was like, I need to talk to this woman. And I very gently stalked her and tracked her down. And she told me the guru that she had gone to learn how to do this. And I went to that guru and I was like, teach me everything. But the guru, they weren't thinking, and Katie neither weren't thinking romance books. So that's where my 9 strategies come in. But what you're seeing on that graph is when I started in 2022. I started learning maybe around March, April, and then I launched my store in May of 2022. And that first month, I made $235. That was more than I made my very first month on Amazon. So I knew this was something. In June, I made $418. And then, as is my way, in July, I stumbled. I lost money. I almost gave up. But then that's when I started to realize, everybody make sure you mute yourself. But that's when I started to realize that what the gurus were telling me, it wasn't working for my readers. And I started to think about, how am I getting my books to sell on Amazon and on Nook because I'm wide? How am I getting readers attracted to these stories? And that was it. I started to realize I was telling them a story. And that was the crucial thing that made things turn around. So I started to put story elements on my direct sales site. And in August, I came back and I made $1,200 in profit. I 2x in September and I made $2,136. I 2x again in October, making over $4,500, and it just kept getting better and better. This year, I've been high 4 figures each month, consistently working my way to a steady 5 figures every month. But I hope that you can see that there's so much opportunity for growth with direct sales. You see what I did starting halfway through 2022, fumbling and losing money a lot. I still ended the year with a really nice number there. And this year I have done far better than that because this stuff works. Okay. The first thing that I want to mention to you guys is that if you are in Kindle Unlimited, you've married Amazon and you can't cheat. So keep that in mind with your English language ebooks. But we don't just have English language ebooks. We have print books, we have hardbacks, we have maybe large print, we have audiobooks if you're not exclusive to ACX, if you're not in a 3-way with Amazon and ACX. We also, I have friends who started to write extended epilogues of their backlist and sell those specifically on their site. There's lots of ways to think outside of the box, because at the start, you're probably going to be targeting your current readers, and you want to think about, what do they come to you for? What can't you give them? Maybe you can start to bundle a lot of different books together that again aren't on Amazon. Maybe you can bundle up your reader magnets. Maybe you can get together with some other authors and do how we do anthologies. Maybe you can do that on your direct store. There's lots of different ways that you can do this. So don't think that just because you're in KU that you're going to be left off of this train. But when I started, remember, I did not focus on building my entire store. That was one of the great things the guru taught me, was think about a bundle. So I focus on one series or one bundle, and I built that sales page. Because think about it, guys, when you send readers to, when you send them a link to follow, you're not sending them to Amazon.com and then, hey, go find this particular book. You're sending them with that link going direct to that product page or even that series page. So I don't send anyone to ines.shop.com or anything like that. I'm sending them to a very specific place. I basically put the book blinders on them, the same that we do when we're sending them from a Facebook ad or we're sending them for social media. You put those book blinders on them and you send them, you try to sell them that one story or that one story world. And then if they go back and they buy the book, fantastic, buy more books, fantastic. Or if they buy more from that series, or if they go and start hunting you down as an author and trying to see what else you're getting, great. But I can't think of a way that someone starts on Amazon.com and just like, I'm in the mood to read a book, and then they happen upon you. So let's put the book blinders on them. And I also recommend that you choose your best-selling series or your best-selling collection of books to sell and build around that. And to do that, I recommend that you take advantage of A+ content and those binging behaviors and those buying in bundles and that love of a good deal type behavior. We're going to start with that single offer, and we'll talk about more about the construction of the offer in just a second. But first, I just need to make sure that I've convinced you that you're not going to go full hog into building a whole entire storefront. Because what if you don't like it? What if there's a lot of customer service that comes, because we don't have Amazon's army of actual people and bots mostly to deal with when customers are upset or when they get confused and they don't know how to load their book. You're going to have to deal with that. And what if you decide, oh my gosh, this is awful, I hate that, but you've built this whole storefront? So just go in with one product. It's kind of like setting up what I call the mall pitch, the mall morsel. That's how we want to think about this, because setting up your store is a lot of work. You're making a brand new business, and it's unlikely that you're going to be profitable right out of the gate. Remember, I made 200, then 400, and then I pretty much lost all of that plus some. There's stumbling that's going to happen, and you might be thinking, oh, great sales pitch, Ines, that's fantastic. And that's not it, guys. I'm really being real with you. I want you to understand that I lost money, and what I'm hoping that these tips are going to do for you is to minimize that as much as possible. So that first tip, one page at a time, build one thing, one offer that you can give to these people. You're going to draw readers in to consider this one offer, and you draw them in using your newsletter, using social media, using Facebook ads. So, and we're going to get to that. But first, think about, where does that link go? Again, and it can go one of three places. Excuse me. It can go to your website, it can go to a landing page, or it can go to a product page on a storefront. Remember, I said I started with PayHip. I also investigated WooCommerce and Thrivecart, but I settled on Shopify to build my store on top of. And the reason that I did that was because I liked how they gave me so many opportunities. I'm wide. So on Google Play will allow you to bundle up different books within different series. And I love that. Barnes & Noble's Nook allows you to offer coupons to readers. Amazon does that thing with the variants, where you, when you're on a product page, you see the ebook, the print book, the audiobook, the special edition, all at the top. Well, you can do all that plus more in Shopify. And I loved that. And that's why I decided to choose Shopify. But I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to, well, what should I choose? Investigate them all and see what works for you, because Shopify right now is $39 per month. Thrivecart, I think it's a one-time payment. And things like, you can even set your store up on Squarespace, and that's free, but I think you pay a service fee. So there's different, you don't have to choose Shopify. I know everybody's going full hog on Shopify, but you don't have to do that. You can choose a different choice. You can still choose PayHip and just put the links to the PayHip download, where PayHip will collect the money for you and deliver the books. And you can put that on your site, and you're only paying the service fee whenever someone is buying from you. So like I said, I still have PayHip integrated on my website because I have a lot of books, and it's going to take like a week to change out all of those links, and I just don't have the time for that. And it still works. So you can put those buy direct links right on there, and that still works for me. You can also do a landing page. Now, originally I used a landing page service called Unbounce, because Unbounce does an amazing job allowing you to A/B test very specific elements on the page, so that you could try to understand what was working and what is not. I'm going to circle back around to that. But you could also just use something like Shopify, and you can use their product page. And I know we've been taught over the years that we need to put as little friction as possible between the readers and the sale as possible. I remember both Mark Dawson and Sky Warren in their Facebook ads class saying, send them straight to the cart. You don't want to send them to an in-between page. You want to get them to the sale as quickly as possible. However, I'm a wannabe scientist, and I was like, let me test that. And my test, I have two pen names. One test that I did show that one pen name preferred going to the landing, those readers preferred going to the landing page, and I got higher conversions. And on another pen name who wrote a different steam level, those readers, they trusted the product page. I have guesses as to why, but I don't really know why. But please understand me when I say you should test every single solitary thing. So as popular genre fiction, and particularly romance authors, we have such an advantage, you guys. Our readers love to binge. You all know a reader who reads a book a day. I know a reader who reads more than a book a day. Personally, I'm a book every other day kind of girl because I like to rewrite the ending sometimes when I read a book, or I need to write a second epilogue because maybe he didn't grovel enough, or maybe I want to see what their babies look like. So that's probably why I became an author. But you want to take advantage of readers' binge mentality, which is easy if you write in a series or connected standalones. You could also group different books together by, for example, by series. Like there's only one bed, and that's the same thing in all these different books from different series. You can group those together, or you could do hey, Lauren, make sure you're muted. Or you could do a series of first in series, kind of like an author starter kit. But with binge mentality in mind, let's make it easy on readers and let's bundle all those books together into one package. You can combine different books in one sale. Remember I said Google Play has this feature, and it's kind of like doing the Amazon series page. But what if you want to combine books across different tropes or different themes, or a print book and an audiobook and the ebook? You can do all of that in Shopify. That's in Shopify and in Thrivecart and probably in WooCommerce too. The link that I have there at ineswrites.com/Canva bundle graphics, that is just something that I made so that because I usually bundle things up in sixes. I like threes and sixes. Don't ask why. I'm sure there's a reason. But that's just some graphics that you can use up there, and it's just a free download. Make sure you make a copy because some people have left their stuffs in there and people kind of make fun of other people's covers that don't follow the instructions of making a copy. But I digress. You want to choose your best seller, and you want to bundle. You want to bundle because it gets hard to sell one book at a time. There's costs, so there's no cost to put your books up on Amazon. Pretend we don't have like editing costs and cover costs. To actually sell on Amazon, we don't pay a fee. To actually sell using Shopify or using Thrivecart or Woo, you pay a fee. So you have to be thinking about that particular cost of doing business, and you want to offset that. And the best way to offset that is to sell a higher price ticket, because just selling a $3 book at a time, it doesn't look like a great a deal as selling 13 books and selling them at 50% off. And you don't have to do the discount. It could just be get all the books in the series at once. You could even do get all the books in a series plus bonus content, which could just be your reader magnet, which you already have. Or for those of you that write second epilogues, put all the second epilogues in there, because usually we make that another reader magnet where the readers have to come, they read the book, then they come to sign up, and then they get that extra. We'll put them all in there, and that increases the value, because it's easier to sell something that's around $19, $25 to make a profit off of that than it is to sell a $3 or $4 book one at a time. So that's what I mean when I say choose your players. Then you want to get organized. File management is so important here. I love the way I use Vellum. I love the way that Vellum organizes files, how in the folder you will have the EPUB, you still have the Mobies in there if you so choose, and you have the book cover, and it puts it all in a nice order for you. I love that, and that's become my system. But in addition, you want to make sure that you have all of your metadata organized, and I put a metadata cheat sheet up there for you. Give me a second. I will show you what that looks like. So I think I'm sharing this new one instead. Can someone just tell me real quick, can you see the book title?
We can see it. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so this is a metadata cheat sheet. This is what I have for you guys to download. And this is the blank one, and you can either download it as a Word document. Some people put it in their Scrivener files, some people put it in their Notion. I have mine in Google Docs. And so that is my Google Doc. So this is for my 13 book series. So here's book one, and I have everything that I could ever need. I was in Vegas the other week, and if I needed something, everything was here. I have all of my links. When you start doing Shopify, you're going to have some codes, or if you do PayHip, even I still have my PayHip stuff in here. When you start doing Shopify, or you start doing PayHip or Thrive, there's going to be some other information that you're going to need, and I have this stuff all there ready for me. I have blurbs, I have short, long blurbs, I have copy. Everything is here at the tip of my fingers if I need it. And you guys are going to need all of this information because you're basically uploading to Amazon. Again, when you start to upload your books to Shopify or Thrive or Woo. So you want to have all of this in a really handy place for you. And back. Okay. So get organized is basically what I'm telling you to do. Okay. Tip number 4. I'm sorry to tell you, but books are not a need. It's not my religion. My religion is that we all need books in our lives, but everybody else seems to think that books are a luxury. I can't unconvince them. Sorry. You're going to have to prove that you're going to provide a luxurious experience to the reader. And this is the thing, they're already in a committed relationship with Amazon. So what's going to make them look over their shoulder to you in your direct store? And I think the way that we do that is we make them an offer that they can't refuse. We make that offer to lure them in. Remember, I was talking about the mall ploy. Do you guys remember when there was a mall? Because they're tearing them down now. But back in the mall, when we were like teenagers, right? And we'd be in the food court with our friends, and we'd be walking around in our cool little outfit, and we'd be heading to something like, I don't know, McDonald's or something, or the pizza joint. And it was always either Chick-fil-A or the Chinese food restaurant. There would be people standing out with a platter, and they would have like a toothpick with something on it, right? Y'all remember this. And you take that toothpick because it's free, pop it in your mouth, still heading towards McDonald's or the pizza joint. And all of a sudden you're turning around to go get a meal from that place. It's the mall ploy. You give them your best morsel to make them want the full meal. And that's what we're doing here. So how do we translate that into books? Well, for new or cold readers who have never read your books, you can lure them in with a free or discounted book or something they've never read before, right? For old or warm readers, you can start to run your pre-orders on directly, or you could do special orders on your store, or you can start up a rewards program where they get points. That's how Michael's has me in there every other day. Not that I'm addicted to craft supplies or anything. So you can even send coupons directly to them via your newsletter, because a lot of these direct selling platforms offer you that. There's great incentives that you can do. Maybe you could do bookmarks, you can do stickers, which would make me want to sign up. You can do merchandising. There's all kinds. You can bundle, like I said, the print and the audiobook together, just like Amazon does, but maybe there's something bonus in what you have given that Amazon doesn't have. So think about what's the deal. I want to reiterate that it does not matter who you go with. If you go with Shopify or Thrive or Woo, it doesn't matter. And readers aren't going to care because they're not going to know. Most of them are not going to know. If you shop online a lot, you can, and you have a Shopify store, you can start to figure out, oh, that's a Shopify layout, because there's some things that look the same. But even though I don't think that it matters to readers, I will die on that hill. I do think that familiarity breeds comfort, especially when the readers get to the checkout. You do want to make sure that they see familiar guardrails like PayPal or Google Pay or Apple Pay. What I think that readers care about, and what you should care about, is the story. We are writers. We are selling books. We are selling escapism. But when you look at most storefront pages, they're designed to sell on spec. That means there's an image, a description, and the buy buttons, and that's it. And this is when I realized that I was losing money, because I was losing readers. I was not telling them a story. You know who taught us how to tell a story on a sales page? Amazon. This is Amazon's A+ content. And I know we still are like, does this really increase sales? Does it not? No one can really prove whether or not, but I feel like I can, because when I have just the basic store product page layout with just the image, the button, and the specs. And what are you going to say with specs? It's a 5x8 book, and it's 250 pages, and it's blue. That's not telling you anything. That's not telling a reader anything. But if you start to give them story, the same way that Amazon taught us how to put that A+ content up there, that increased my conversion. So I can say definitively that A+ content, when you're selling a story, works. So when you, whatever storefront you choose, even if you choose to put this on your website, you need to make sure that you tell a story in that space that they provide you, where they're wanting you to talk about the specifications of the product that you're selling. So, Ines, well then, what's the story? How do I do this? Well, the way that you're going to make a sale on story is you're going to talk about the world, you're going to talk about the characters, you're going to talk about the trope, and maybe even you're going to talk about yourself. Readers want to get immersed in a story world. It's why fandom exists. It's why you know which house you belong to in the Harry Potter fandom, if you are a fan. It's why you know if it's Team Edward or Team Jacob, and why I'm not wearing it today, but I have a Team Charlie shirt because that's the correct answer if you're my age. So you want to make sure that you're giving readers a sense of belonging. You want to have identifiers that allow you to connect with, that allow them to connect with others. Look into your world building. And that also includes contemporary romance. Maybe you built a small town. I have friends who are very meticulous about every location in the small town, making sure it feels real and it feels like a place that you want to visit, and they will make merchandise off of that. Is there a found family in the world that you built? I love having matriarchs and patriarchs and making them feel like that's the person you want to go to get advice from. What are the parameters that readers will get attached to? What are the parameters that they already do get attached to? You can probably find that in your reviews. I lead with my world, and I invite readers into that world. For my Ines Johnson, my sweet pen name, I write small town. It's on a rehabilitation ranch of wounded warrior soldiers, and they're all trying to heal from their PTSD. But a zoning issue comes up on this ranch that says that only families can live on this land. And so all of my soldiers have to get married in order to stay on the ranch. It sells like gangbusters because I invite people into that world. I load my pages up with keywords, with themes and tropes and all the catnip of, if you like, soldiers and marriage of convenience. I put it right up front so a reader knows that if this is the kind of book they love, then I've got everything that they need for a good time in here. I'll show you an example in a minute. You can also lead with character, specifically character types. Now, I'm sure we're all romance authors, I'm assuming, and that's probably our first language. So when we say alpha male and cinnamon roll hero and military or cowboys, we know what we're talking about, and so do the readers. Thriller authors, if you're out there, then there's tropes that you contend with. Military sci-fi authors, what are the character archetypes there? Epic fantasy authors, probably, or just fantasy or urban fantasy, you probably have girl in pretty dress with magic hands. So think about who these characters are, and maybe even put your sales page in their voice. Have a character invite the reader into this world. Let them know that they're about to meet their next book boyfriend or their next book sister, who they'll want to spend their days and days and days with. Maybe you're like me and you wrote all marriage of convenience books, or maybe you wrote all cowboys, or maybe you're like Lee and you wrote all wolf shifter books. Whatever it is, lean into that trope. What are the obligatory scenes of that trope? Can you visually depict that? Or can you pull an excerpt or teaser that showcases it? Two of my favorite places to go trope hunting are tvtropes.org, which is free and dangerous. It's a huge site that you can easily fall down a rabbit hole of. Jennifer Hilt also released the trope, the source, and she has various ones coming out. She has the romance one that's come out. She has a horror one, and she has more set to go. But at the same time, you're an expert in your area, so you know what tropes are, and you know what you wrote in there to attract readers to that trope. So put that on your sales page. There's some really charismatic authors out there, and they can sell you ice if you live in Alaska, and that might be you. Many people make their direct store about them and them being an artist, and hey, support the artist directly, and cut out the middleman of Amazon, and help me to survive so that I can give you more art. If that's you, then put your picture at the top. Tell them your story. So I want to take a second to show you two things. I want to show you what my page, this is my, give it a second. This is the page that converts for me. Give me 2 more seconds because I also want to show you that. I'll do that in just a second. But this is the page that converts. Hang on. This is the page that converts for me. I remember I said I used this service called Unbounced. It was a landing page testing service. This page convert it for me. I tested everything on this page. I tested the graphics. I tested, should I have one soldier? Should I have a group of soldiers? Maybe I should have couples. And I kept putting those different ideas against one another. This is what got me the highest conversion. And then at one point, the guru said, he said to make sure I put a picture of the product, but don't put the price. But when I did that, I put a heat map on my website because it's mine. Your website, if you do Shopify or Woo or anything like that, you own that space. We don't own our space on Amazon. So when you are selling direct, you own that space, so you can put a heat map on it. And I used a heat map called Mouseflow. That was the spyware. So the next thing that I was going to tell you about was make sure that you use spyware. So when you use the spyware, you can spy on the readers that come to your site because they're coming up in your house. But the guru told me to put the pictures on there, but don't put the price yet. But I saw, because the heat map records movement, I saw readers scrolling down and they would stop once they found the price. And I thought, well, let me put it up top so that they could see it sooner. But then that lowered conversions a little bit. So then I said, okay, something's missing. And then I also saw that when they were scrolling down to read the blurbs. And so I thought to myself, well, let me put the story up top. And I tested everything one against the other until I came up with this page. And this is still my highest converting page. I have the graphic. I have inviting them into my world. And I don't mind if you guys go here. This is ShanaeJohnson.com/PHR13. This is on my website. I am going to go and grab my actual shopping page. Hang on a second. I should have been more prepared. So that sells for me there. Hang on, let me show you one other thing. Another thing that I saw, so like I said, the blurbs, they were scrolling to look at the blurbs. I didn't have blurbs on there the first time. I just had the pictures. And I also learned, because, I was talking about bundling things together with different variants, and a variant is an ebook, the variant of the audiobook, the variant of the print book. I saw that when I put too many choices on there, onto this landing page, it got some analysis paralysis. So I only gave the choice of either getting the ebook or getting the print book. And this rose up my conversions as well. So I did that, but I also, this is the same thing on Shopify. This is the product page on Shopify. Remember I said you can send to your website, you can send to a landing page, you can send to your product page. This is my Shopify product page. And originally, all it would let me do is put the image here, then it would have the buy buttons, and then this is where we put the specifications, and that just did not convert for me. This page still converts at a lower rate than my landing page that I just showed you. However, when I made this look like my landing page, it converted better, which proved to me that if you tell a story to a reader, they will convert higher. So that's what I mean when I say I use spyware. So use those heat maps to give you this information. We do not have to guess anymore. We can get the actual data and interpret that data. It's beautiful. So the heat map that I used on my site was Mouseflow. But if you choose something like Shopify, and I think Thrivecart too have one built in called Lucky Orange that you can use to help with your conversion. So spy on people. It's your house. You could, if you have one of those video phones on your door, spy on your website too to increase the conversion. Another thing to do is to funnel your readers. There's tons of apps available that will basically ask the reader, do you want fries with that? Because remember I said that trying to sell one product at a time, or 4 or 5, or even a $6 product, it's less profitable than selling a bundle of things together at a higher ticket item, at a higher ticket cost. But you can even raise that cost even higher. You can do upsells on cross sells, and there's tons of apps for that. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but I will tell you that because these apps cost extra money. Either they take a piece out of your profit, like say they take like 10% or something, I can't remember, or you pay a monthly fee for them. But if you're balling on a budget, here, take a look at what I did. This is on my Shopify product page. So what I decided to do on my Shopify product page, because the upsell and the cross-sell apps come once they're actually in the cart. This is just before they're in the cart. And I give them the opportunity to show this is basically also bots. But unlike on Amazon, I'm the only person that's in my also bots. So I put all of my also bots down here for them to add on as well if they want to. And that is doing well for me. Okay, so that's upsells and cross sells. You can also, what I also recommend is that you take advantage of the flows that are available to you, and that's the abandoned cart and the automations flows. An abandoned cart email is an email sent to customers who have added products to their shopping cart, but then failed to check out. The service like Shopify or Thrive will send them an email like that acts as a friendly reminder, even if they haven't given you their email address yet. Shopify has captured them, so Shopify can send that on. But you can also build out other types of automations and other types of flows. If someone then does go and buy, say, the first bundle, if they bought that Purple Heart Ranch bundle, I can then start to send them other flows automatically based upon what they bought. So I can send them, and I have a 5 segment email flow that says, hey, I'm so glad you bought it. Did you like what happened in the first book? I'm basically trying to get them to make sure that they read the book. And then a week later, it asks questions about the second book. And then by the end of this flow, I'm ready to sell them the new bundle. But let's say they went in and they just bought one book. Great. They bought that one book. Then you can set up an automatic flow that tags them as soon as they buy that book, or as soon as they like put that book in a cart. You can tag them to say, in 7 days or in 30 days, sell them the next book. So you can set up flow upon flow upon flow upon flow. It's endless. You can do this within the store, like a Shopify or a Thrive. And you can also link. I know that Shopify will link with MailChimp, MailerLite, and I believe ConvertKit. So you can build your flows inside your current newsletter provider service and just roll in the dough and make bank after bank after bank. Okay, so great. And that's, we have built our bundle on our store. Our store is launched and it's live. How do I get people there? First, you want to take a look at your warm readers. These are readers that already know you. And what I did is I offered a free download. We're always writing in these anthologies and things like that. So some of us have stories that are just left over, or you might even write like a 10,000 word story, or there's a bonus scene or what have you. This is just one idea. So with this one idea, I offered a free download. And when that free download looked like this, I sent it out to my current newsletter subscribers. And I basically said, I'm doing something new. I have this store that I just opened because I want to be able to offer you guys deals. I want to give you guys customer service that I think is the best. And here, I want to show you how easy this is. If you just click this link, this story is not available anywhere else. You can only get it here. And they loved that. And I got a crazy click-through rate just grabbing the story. And you know what happened? Then they had, once they clicked on it and they checked out through Shopify on my store, Shopify had all their information. They only had to do that once. And I integrate with BookFunnel. So BookFunnel, remember BookFunnel, you have to make an account and you have to get it all set up for them to send the book. They only had to do that once. So I lessened the pain to give them something that they wanted. And then it was all ready to go. After that, I then would give them discounts. I would say, okay, guys, every Friday, I got this idea from Grace Goodwin. Every Friday, Grace sends a first chapter free. And so I started doing that. But at the end of the first chapter, after into the end of the text, I would say, hey, you want to get this book for $1 off? It's only available. This discount is only available here in my shop. And I would give them a discount code that they could then use for that particular book. That worked well. I also started to offer special editions. Like I bundled all of my books. Well, not all of them. I bundled a whole bunch of my books together that could fit into I think that was a 8x9 or 6x9. It was like 1,000 pages. It was a door stopper. I bundled it all together and I sold that on my site, and that went really well. So that's how I sold to my current readers. So then I needed to get new readers. And to get the new readers, you can go to the InesWrites.com/ad cheat sheet. I'll leave that up there for just a second. I love Facebook. I figured it out. I got help, of course, but I figured out Facebook. It works so well for me. We're so blessed and lucky being romance authors that our readers are on that platform, and they not only are on that platform, they have said with their fingers, they've clicked a button that said, I have an interest that is Debbie May Comer, or I have an interest that is E.L. James, or I have an interest that is J.R. Ward. And so we can target them and they like it. So we are so blessed and lucky that we have this at our fingertips, because now that we do, we can start to send advertisements to them. I love the way that Sky Warren taught her Facebook ads class. I'm so upset that she's not teaching it anymore, but maybe she will, because y'all know Ram is back. It's going to be October, I think, 2024. So I asked her if I could modify some of her ad cheat sheet, and she said yes, go for it. So because I love what she did with the 6 creatives. So what I decided to do is I use her same testing phase, where I will have a campaign and I will run 1 to 3 interests, like I said, a Debbie May Comer, or a J.R. Ward, or a Diana Gabaldon. I will run a test campaign with 1 to 3 interest targets and 6 ad creatives. And you can use videos, you can use just a single book there, you can use a book bundle, you can show the genre. Make sure you show the trope. Make sure you are showing the readers what it is that they have come here for. And I have some examples down there. So I do that, and I'll make these slides available for you guys too. So I do that. So I use the interest targets, and then I run a campaign with those 1 to 3 interest targets with those 6 ad creatives, and then I wait until I get 400 impressions. Why 400? Well, I used to ask that of all the gurus too, and nobody could give me a straight answer. But then I was looking, it was political season sometime last year, and I was looking at a political ad, and I saw that 500 people had answered this political ad and made their opinions known, and policy got changed because of those 500 people. And I thought, well, if that's good enough for them to change policy, it's good enough for me to make decisions on a Facebook ad. So that's why I have my 400 to 500 impressions. So once that ad gets to 400 or 500, I start to make decisions. What ad got the most clicks? What ad did the most people interact with? Now, I don't use traffic ads for direct sales. I use purchase conversions, or so on some of our accounts, it's called sales conversions, because that gives you, when you're using a purchase conversion, you can talk, Facebook can talk directly to your site. So Facebook knows who clicked on the ad, and they can follow them to your site and know all the information. So when Facebook says, hey, this ad gave you a profit of X number, it's the 100% truth. You're not guessing anymore. You can absolutely measure the dollars. So I use the cost per click ads. So with the return on ad spend, or the ROAS, that's what we're using instead of CPC. And so it's holiday time, so ROAS is going up. But say I have a ROAS of $10. So every time I get a sale, it took me $10 to get that sale. But remember, I'm selling a product that's $25. So I made $15. Woohoo! But that's not my point. My point is that if you're going to be using the purchase or sales conversions, you're going to be paying more money, which is another reason why you have to have a bundle or product that is more than just $4 or $5, because you're going to be losing money quick. I was losing money quick when I was trying to sell my product for a lot less money. So we want to be thinking about things like that. Don't take $10 ROAS as gospel. I'm just using that as an example, especially during this time of the year. I'm using that as an example. But that's why we want to have our product be a higher price. And you also need to understand you're going to be spending more money. We can't do that $10 a day testing anymore. You have to, at least, in my opinion, if we're using a $10 ROAS, you're going to have to test at least $25. So you want to make sure that you have some money set aside to potentially lose as you're testing this out. It's a new business venture. There are going to be growing pains. Okay, but then once you get a fantastic ROAS going, a fantastic purchase ad going, then you want to think about scaling. Well, how do you scale? You can scale by adding more to your budget, or you can scale. Remember I said I use 1 to 3 interest targets? Well, use another 3 interest targets and add to a new campaign. Or I mostly do most of my ads in the US. Well, maybe now add on the UK or Canada or Australia. And that's how you can increase your ad. That's how you can scale to hopefully increase what you're making. Oh, I got through it. I totally 30 minutes. I lied. But
that was so organized. Everyone's like, this is so well put together. And so,
yay.
And then also some people are overwhelmed because it is overwhelming and new, but that's okay. I love your idea of like focus on one page at a time, just one.
Oh gosh.
Because once it's set up, guys, it's set up. and then you do customer service.
Mm-hmm.
Or you hire people to do it for you, or you make your husband do it.
That's the idea.
He doesn't have feelings. He's like, you can yell at me. I don't care. And
That's perfect.
refunds them. And yeah, so that was awesome. You're amazing. We have time for questions. We will do a stop at 3 p.m. So we have 15 minutes and us take a drink break. And people were asking about the links. So I will post this PDF presentation that has all the links written out in the Millionaire Author Mastermind group. And if you are watching this on YouTube, then go to that group and find the PDF or just rewatch the video until you can get all those links. Those are awesome links. And yeah, we've got some questions. Some people are asking about what type of ads and I like what the purchase ads, and it's called purchase.
Some people's account have the conversion is what you're doing. You're
Yes.
not doing a traffic conversion. Some people have the conversion called purchase, and some people have the conversion called sale. You know, sometimes we get a little bit different things. So it's a purchase or sales conversion that you're after. You can try this with the traffic ad, but Facebook has proven that they know the people who will purchase the product because they can see them. They can't really see what the traffic people are doing. They just know that they clicked, but they can see what the purchasers are doing. They know how much money the purchasers are spending. And so that's a more expensive ad for you to purchase, you being the salesperson, to purchase those people.
But Nick Erics will say Facebook has the best advertising platform on the world, and traffic ads are the worst sort of ad you can do. So when Ines says use those sales/purchase conversion ads, those are the best. Now, to get someone to click, I will spend 80 cents, 100 or $1.40. But if I'm selling a bundle for $20 or more, which is now my rule, like that's what I advertise, then it is worth it to me to spend that per click.
Yep.
And get that conversion. To get to do that type of purchase or sales ads, you must integrate the pixel, the Facebook pixel on your store. That is a whole nother conversation. And you know how you always get offered help from the metadata people, the meta help desk. They're like, I'll help you with your ads. And their advice is terrible. The one time that they are helpful is when you install your pixel. So set up that call and ask them how to install the pixel, and they'll do it in about 20 minutes. And there you go. So a couple more questions. You are amazing. This was phenomenal. Those weren't questions. Throw them in. How do you prevent customers from emailing out the ebook to all of their friends and pirating it?
You can't. That's something that can happen with Amazon. You guys know that when they download a book onto their Kindle, the Kindle is basically a thumb drive. I can plug something into your Kindle right now, and I can take that book and send it to my friends. And I'm not trying to diminish your concern, but this is something that is already possible. Mm-hmm. I do use BookFunnel, and BookFunnel does have some extra protections that you can put on your books. I don't use them personally because I just think that maybe this is Pollyanna of me, but I think that the people who are going to come purchase a book from me, and I get all their information, that they are someone who actually just wants to sit down and read the book. But there are protections out there for you.
If they want to pirate your book, they're going to go to Amazon and run it through a software.
Yeah.
That's how that's what I'm told. I've never done it. When is a good time to start doing this? Yeah. I only make, a certain amount in royalties and have a 5-book series in Kindle Unlimited. Do I need a bigger following first?
I don't think so. Remember I said, and again, Kindle Unlimited, you've made a contract with Amazon. You cannot sell your English language ebook outside of Amazon. So let's pretend you have something else that you could sell. That's ebook. You can use PayHip. And Squarespace you can use, and I think WooCommerce as well if you have WordPress. You can put the link directly onto your website, and you're not paying a monthly fee like you are with Shopify. You just direct them to your website, and if they buy something, then let's say they buy something for $5, and then there's the service fee, which is usually like 5% or something like that. I'm not gonna do that math, but they take the 5% and then you get the rest of the money. So you can, if you wanted to start this today, you start it with something free. And like I said, Joanna Penn, that's how I learned. She has a free blog post. You just go search the Creative Pen, PayHip, and she will show you how to do it for free.
She's awesome. So yeah, someone else, majority of my books are in Kindle Unlimited. Would this be worth it with paperbacks?
What I would do, Black Friday is coming up. What I would do is I would do a blowout sale. Like my books are shorter. So I was able to do one of those omnibuses, right? One of those big, thick omnibuses that they couldn't get anywhere else. Maybe you get a big bunch of books that you bring to your house, you put in your house. Like maybe you do like 50 books, and you maybe you, for the person who had the 5-book series, maybe you get 10 of each book, right? And you sell that bundle at like a discount. Like if your books were like $10 each on Amazon, it would have been $50, and they can't get the bundle on Amazon. They can only get one book at a time. But with you can get this bundle of all 5 print books signed by me. How amazing. And then you sell it for like $30. And those books will cost you what, like $3 to print or something like that. So you're gonna make some money off of it. And media mail is like, depending upon the weight, maybe, I don't know, $6 or $7. So you're going to make some money off of it, right? And if it goes super well, then that gives you information. But if your readers are like, nah, I don't want this, then that gives you information. And then you can still take those books to signings and things like that. So you don't really lose. That's what I would recommend. But if it goes well, then that gives you the courage to keep going.
And someone asked 2 questions. Where's the end matter in your books pointing to? And who are you doing paperbacks through? Ingram, Spark, or Book Vault? And I answered the question. We're using Book Vault integrated with our Shopify store. It's going and our book matter points to a Genius link that includes the store link, and we just kept it simple. The Genius link concludes pretty much everywhere they can buy the book.
So you can point your book matter, just if you use Vellum, you can point your book matter wherever you want. So if you point all of the Amazon goes to Amazon, all the Nook goes to Nook. So you can put anybody who buys direct, that's a separate file that you're uploading. You can point them direct. I currently only offer my omnibuses for sale on my direct store because that's the most profitable. Because you can make a couple of dollars through like Book Vault or Ingram, but I can make I can make tens of dollars when I self-fulfill them. So I am not using anybody. I'm printing them from Amazon right now and shipping them out myself.
You're ordering author copies in bulk from Amazon.
Yep.
And you have a little bookstore at your desk, and you're
pretty much.
That's how you're handling paperbacks. By the way, next week we're going to talk about setting up a TikTok shop, and that's how we have to do it. So I just got myself into some issues there. We'll talk about that next week.
Okay.
Can we talk about pricing on your store versus pricing on retailers, which you've touched on, but just to be clear.
You have to remember that graphic that I showed you with the guy and the girl walking and then the guy looking over his shoulder. Like if I can get that out in the street, why am I gonna come home and get it, right? Oh God, don't at me. But that's my point. If you set your book price at $3.99 on Amazon and you set it at $3.99 on your direct store, like I'm already set up on Amazon. That's the easy thing for me to do. I'm going to take the easy button. So you have to think about what can I give them that's different. So either you price your book, some people will price their book higher on Amazon and then price it lower on their direct store, which is technically against Amazon's TOS because they're supposed to be the lowest price. But then you offer the discount. You offer a discount code. Or you include something else in the book that is not included on Amazon. Like I said, the idea of the second epilogues. But that's why I like to bundle, because I can bundle all those books. I can't bundle all these books together on Amazon. I would make less money because Amazon caps you at $9.99. So that's how I got around it. I'm offering something that I'm not offering on Amazon and put it all together with some extras, and I can sell it at a higher price point.
Yeah, so that's a great question, because for us too, all of our Amazon and store prices match, but then we're offering things on our store we are not offering on Amazon. We're offering things for $50, which, by the way, when you have a Pixel, the Pixel will find you customers at any price point. So the higher the price point, the better. I'm looking at putting together $100 bundle.
Wow.
Because the Pixel will find me customers. And if it takes $30 to find that customer, and then I make
So made $70,
I'm okay with that.
Me too.
Moving on, I write that down. It might be less successful than that. That's the issue. All right, a great question. I'm starting a new genre. Can I start selling stuff that's related to the book world before the books come out, like a campus map for dark college romance or character art pictures?
You absolutely can. Here's my limitation on that. Like, I don't know where you find those pre-readers yet. If you haven't been, if you're not writing in that already, and then you're going to ask them to come outside of their comfort zone to purchase something that they haven't done yet. But those are my issues. People do this on Kickstarter all the time. So I would go and look at the Kickstarter gurus, and that's not my world.
And then sell on TikTok.
There you go.
Right? I mean, you know what? Try it and come and tell us if it works.
You be the guinea pig.
Pretty cool. And also, if you're excited and you want to get that product out and up, and it's part of your inspirational process, I would do it, because we forget how much fun we're supposed to be having being authors sometimes. And it's good for us to do
fun.
things that aren't books. Yeah, well, the whole setup thing is kind of a bear, but it's not that bad. It's just, you know how like everything takes 10 times longer. You're like, I must upload this. Oh, I have to relog in. Oh, I have to find the phone that I use the backup password to. But you know, if you're in a groove and you're excited, get that college map up there and tell all your readers, or if you don't have any, go on TikTok and make some of those aesthetic videos.
Or dance, do some twerking.
Because you're having fun. And Susie says, I'm starting a high fantasy pen name and dragon art I've created. And mugs, posters, prints, puzzles, do it. And guess what, guys? Coming soon for the TikTok shop and Shopify are affiliates, where I could sell the heck out of Ines Johnson's books and I'll get an affiliate cut. And same on TikTok. I'm going to reach out to influencers and say, hey, this is my book. Do you want to be an affiliate for it? And I see you already like books like mine or this book you did a video on. Here it is. Can I make you an affiliate account? And you get paid for promoting and dancing and twerking with my book in the background whenever someone buys. So there's going to be a cool, you know, all these relationships happening where we can build sales forces. And when next time I do a newsletter swap, I'll be like, well, what's the affiliate link? So I get a little bit.
Heck yeah.
And I'll be happy to give everyone money if you sell my books, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. But thank you guys for showing up. And if you have any more questions, I'll post this video in the Millionaire Author Mastermind. You can post your questions. It is a convoluted process. Ines, tell us about your course in 1 minute.
I can do that even shorter. I basically take you through this again, but I put my money where my mouth is, and I show you how to actually press the buttons. The course is only $99 because it is a strategy course. So I'm telling you all of my strategies. I'm letting you look over my shoulder when I'm doing an ad. I'm letting you look over my shoulder when I'm making templates, my story templates on the store, because that's what I think you need to do to sell. And I would be happy to have you. Like I said, it's only $99 and we all should be selling direct and taking control of our business.
Awesome. Go get that. And I will share your pain as you set up the store and struggle with customer
It's
service.
fun.
And the link for that course is right on screen
NSRice.com/direct.
/direct.
Mm-hmm.
All right. See you guys in the group or next week for how to set up your TikTok.
I'll be there.
All right. Bye.
Bye.